Curious to why your skin sends you conflicting signals all the time? Ever experienced dryness, tightness in one area while dealing with excessive shine and oiliness in the center of your face? If so, you're in luck. In this video, we're going to discuss how to identify combination skin type, the pros and cons to combination skin type, other skin conditions such as dehydrated skin, acne, sensitivity, sun damage, and aging, how to create a well-balanced skin with a skincare regimen, and the 3 categories to skincare. So combination skin type is actually a very common skin type. In fact, the majority of most people that I ever see happen to have combination skin type. So one of the characteristics you can definitely, that will give it all away, is where the oiliness is compared to the dryness. And where the oiliness is this is the only skin type where you actually have an oily T-zone. Now, to be honest, that combination skin type can actually be 2 different skin types within itself. So what do I mean by that is that there's an oily combination skin type and a dry combination skin type. These are going to be somewhat similar but a little different. So what an oily combination skin type is that they're quite oily in the T-zone, in the center of their face. They have a lot of oil, and the oil seems to kind of spread out a little bit more towards the cheek area. And the cheek area is actually more of kind of like a normal skin type. Now, last video I made was about normal skin type, so if you want to read up a little bit on that, you can watch that video that I'll have here for you to watch in case you just want to know a little bit about it. It's actually an important video to watch because every skin type should be trying to mimic the normal skin type. And so I kind of explain that a little bit in the video. For dry combination skin type, what'll happen is they'll have like a normal T-zone where they don't produce a lot of oil, but they have a good balance of oil and water ratio there, but we'll have more drier cheek area. So it's kind of like it flips. So you got one that's really oily and normal skin type, and one with a normal skin type with dryness on the sides. So usually those with the oily combination skin type will sometimes tend to get a little bit congested in the center. That's usually where they'll probably get some breakouts a lot of times, because if they use something too heavy, it can have them break out because it clogs the pores up a bit. Obviously, if you're creating a lot of oil in the T-zone, you'll be more shiny, specifically like on the forehead, on the nose area, and maybe the chin area. For someone with more of a dry combination skin type, you might also get some breakouts kind of in the center possibly, but you probably don't have that problem too much. Now, there are pros and cons to this skin type, and frankly, I kind of find that combination skin type next to normal skin type is probably one of the best to have, because even though it's almost like having 2 different skin types at once, it's almost like your skin is somewhat sort of balanced, not entirely, because you do have kind of like 2 skin types kind of going on, but it's kind of like you don't have to do too much to make it more like a perfect water and oil ratio, which would be of good skin health. The cons to it though is that because you're dealing with kind of like 2 skin types all at once, it can kind of get a little tricky, but once you understand how to take care of your skin properly, it's really not a big deal, and it's actually quite easy to maintain and keep really well balanced properly. Now we're on to skin conditions. Now, what's pretty common for this skin type in particular, or pretty much any skin type really, is dehydration of the skin. So this is a very common one. I will make another video about it later on, specifically targeting on dehydrated skin. I did also make a video as well over an experiment of how oil locks in and keeps water in the skin, and so that's a good video for you to watch, and I highly recommend it. It's actually a pretty cool video too, so definitely watch that to get a little more insight on what oil and water, how they work together, and how oil traps in that water. Acne can also be fairly common for this skin type, particularly obviously for more oily combination skin type, because we have a lot of oil going on in the center of our face, and usually that's where our breakouts occur. 98% of the time with acne, it's usually an internal issue. So it can be the hormonal issue, it can be that you're missing certain nutrition in your diet, it could also be that you're allergic to, that you're eating something that you could be allergic to. So acne is kind of one of those things. I will make a video on that as well to kind of discuss more about those situations. Sensitivity can also be quite common with this skin type due to either abuse or neglect normally, but a lot of it could also be that if it's dehydrated skin, a lot of times dehydrated skin can make your skin more sensitive because it does not have any water to help balance out the skin. So that is very common for this skin type, but not necessarily all the time. Aging, combination skin type is normally ages with its time unless there's been some kind of abuse or a lot of sun exposure that can really speed that up. And I just mentioned sun damage, so that's another one that can happen. That can happen with anyone. It doesn't even matter what your skin type is. Sun damage is something that happens when your skin has been exposed far too much to the sun. And I will make another video on that, and also maybe a sunscreen video to kind of help you understand more about how that works. So it's really important for this skin type to be well balanced. Since we're dealing with two different things going on in the skin, we got to know how to balance for a good, healthy skin. And that's balancing out the oil and water ratio. I'm going to share with you a skincare regimen that you can use to give you a well-balanced and well-maintained skincare to help you understand your skin and to help you get beautiful, healthy, glowing skin. Before I do, I just want to discuss a little bit quickly about how I like to categorize the skincare regimen. So basically I group them up into 3 categories, and we have what's called the cleaning phase, the feeding stage, and the protecting stage. I'll discuss those as we go down the regimen. We're gonna start, of course, with the cleaning stage. We wanna clean our skin really well in order for us to feed our skin and protect that to be effective. The first thing we're gonna do is, if you happen to wear makeup, I want you to try to remove most of the makeup gently first before actually cleansing. Now you can use a cleansing oil, a makeup wipe, or like a microfiber towel, and you will use those very, very gently on your skin. I don't want you rubbing and, you know, pressing too hard or anything. We're just gonna remove the majority of the makeup very gently. So the next thing you're gonna do is then you're going to cleanse your skin. And I do have a cleanser that I love, and it was made specifically for normal and combination skin types. So this is a great cleanser for you to use. It can also be used on just about any other skin type as well. But I love it because it's creamy and it's very hydrating, and it's the one I've been using pretty much almost every day. There's every once in a while I might change it up slightly, but I use this one every day otherwise. Another kind of cleanser you can use is actually more of a foam cleanser that foams for you as you pump it, or you can use ones that are gel cleansers that when you rub will become more bubbly and sudsy for you. You can use those primarily for people with oily combination skin type. Those would be great. For ones with more of the dry combination skin type, I would want you to probably definitely use that cream cleanser, or at least the foaming cleanser. And we're going to cleanse our skin twice, and we're gonna do that to make sure we get off all that makeup and any of the sunscreen that we had during that day, for example. After removing most of the makeup, you are now going to cleanse your skin once, just to really remove all the rest of that makeup. And then I'm gonna have you cleanse one more time, just to be for certain that it is completely off. All the makeup is gone. And so we just wanna make sure that we got our skin really clean that way. And we're gonna do this every day and every night. Our next cleaning stage we're gonna do is exfoliate. Now exfoliation, you don't need to do more than once a week. Do not use it over any more than that. It can cause problems with the skin, primarily even for this skin type specifically. The ones that I think that work very well on a weekly basis is using an enzyme, primarily ones added AHAs, which are alpha hydroxy acids. These will work very well in order to dissolve the very superficial top layer of the skin to give you a more even exfoliation and to help hydrate the skin and bring out that glow. I did do a video on a few that I really like, and I will put those up in the description down below and also up here on the links there. Now the next cleaning step that we have is to use a toner. Now here's where we come to the feeding stage, and the feeding stage is super duper important in order to do, and this is the one that I was telling you earlier, that this is what's gonna kind of help change your skin a bit in order to kind of balance out the water and oil ratio, similar to be like normal skin type. And it's gonna be a little bit different. So if you happen to be someone with an oily T-zone, the first thing you're gonna do is you are going to use a clay mask only on the T area. What this is going to do is it's going to absorb that excess amount of oil that's in your skin, so that once we remove the excess oil, we can then force feed it hydration. Now, if you're someone who has dry combination skin type, you don't need to use the clay mask at all. Just kind of skip this step, because the clay mask just a little too much. Clay mask should only be for people who have excess oil. So in this case, for the oily T-zone, we want to kind of help get rid of that excess oil that's in the T-zone. But for dry combination skin type, you don't really have excessive oil. It's pretty balanced in the center of your skin right now, so just don't bother using a clay mask right now. Once you've wiped off gently the clay mask once it's finished using, the next thing we're gonna do, as your skin is still damp and moist from rinsing it off with the water and everything and dabbing it dry, you're going to then put on a gel mask or a sheet mask. Again, if you are the one with the dry combination skin type, you're going to put on the same kind of mask as well, a gel mask or a sheet mask. What gel masks do is they help hydrate the skin. And so we're gonna kind of force feed the skin water in order to balance it. You can also use cream masks as well, but those are more anti-aging and they're more for conditioning the skin, which can be good maybe sometime later in the week. But I'm always really adamant about hydrating the skin because most people's skin is dehydrated. And you know, when you hydrate your skin works, looks, and acts differently and can also absorb more product that you put on feeding your skin, making it more effective. So I'm always about hydrating the skin. The sheet mask, the reason why those work pretty well is because the sheet actually is like a barrier between your skin and the air, which will help keep it active longer because it won't dry out as easily. Another way to keep the mask active is to use a facial steamer. And so that will help deposit water on the skin or on the mask to keep it active because that's what we want. The other thing too is the steam will kind of help warm the skin, which will help soften the skin and make it more susceptible to bringing in that hydration and any other beneficial ingredients that might be in that mask. Now I do have a sheet mask that I use just about almost every single day, and I have made a video on it and I'll share it with you here as well, and I highly recommend you watch that because it is a really good mask and it's great for people with sensitive skin as well, and it just hydrates the skin so much and so well, and I really do like this mask, and so this is a good one to use if you ever want to hydrate your skin. The next feeding step will be to use serums. Now whatever your goals are, I don't know if it's anti-aging, it can be, you know, lightening and brightening, reducing sun damage, or just hydrating in general, or any of those that I had discussed earlier, you'll want to use a serum to just help with those goals that you have. So this will be feeding into your skin so that you can get those goals done well for your skin. Of course, that will be used every day and night. Now we're on to the protecting steps. So the first thing you're going to use to protect your skin, now that we've just fed our skin hydration and serums and all that stuff, what we want to do is protect that. We want to protect the skin and we want to lock in what we just put in the skin. So what you're going to do is you're going to put on a moisturizer, a good moisturizer. Nothing too heavy, just a good reasonable moisturizer. A moisturizer is actually made not to actually hydrate and moisturize your skin. It's actually made to lock in moisture in the skin. It's made to be like an occlusion over the skin, kind of like putting almost like a barrier or a saran wrap, like an occlusion in order to help lock in all that hydration. And of course you're going to use that day and night, always. Now our next protection step depends if it's a day routine or a night routine. If it's a day routine, definitely put on that SPF. And I'll talk more about sun damage and SPF in a later video for that information as well. Now, if it's a night routine, you can use what's called like a skin oil or a face oil. And these are really good because it helps lock in that moisture even more. Like I shared with you that other video about the oil and water ratio and how oil helps lock in hydration in the skin. This is going to help kind of make that second barrier with that moisturizer a little bit and just really make sure that that oil sits on top of the skin to really lock in the moisture that you've just put in your skin and every other ingredient serum that you had put in. So like I mentioned at the very end of this video, I do have a special gift for you for watching this video right here, right now, and watching to the very end. And right now, at this moment, I am handing this out for free. I don't know if I'm gonna do it all the time, but for now, since this is a new channel and you're just learning about your skin type and how to identify it and what to do, I did write a fun book that is beautifully designed and well written, and it doesn't read like a normal book, but it just looks really well. And I have a whole book for you about what we just discussed now, all written out for you to have a good skincare regimen to use. So I will put that link in the description down below for you to click, and all I need is to know where to send that book off to. So I would highly take advantage of that offer because I don't know how long I will plan on having this out for free. I may start selling it. Definitely get that book and walk you through the process of a balanced skincare regimen for yourself. Also, in case you're wondering more about your skin type and just to look more farther deeper into it and to make sure you are on the right video for your skin type, I will put a link in the description down below as well for taking a quiz on understanding and knowing your skin type. So I will put that in the bottom below for you to take as well. So thank you again for watching this video. I appreciate it. Thank you for seeing me here at Contour Image, and just remember to stay beautiful for life.